Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to our channel and thanks for logging on. Today we're filming a monster movie, or I should say, a sea monster movie. This is the Jaeger-LeCoultre Master Compressor Diving Pro Geographic. You can see this unique ultimate diving tool watch on our website. Subscribe to our YouTube channel if you enjoy these videos, and please click on the card in the upper right hand corner of the screen at any time during this video to see our full sales listing for this watch with additional accessories included, high resolution images for your desktop, and naturally full pricing details for this Jaeger-LeCoultre World Time mechanical depth gauge. Now you can see on my wrist 6 1/3 inches, 16 centimeters in circumference. This thing is a true Leviathan. Now 46.3 millimeters is the nominal size of the case, but that's only if you're measuring the narrowest diagonal, roughly this span between about 130 and 730. The reality, if you measure it horizontally across the case, is going to be an overpowering 52 millimeters from edge to edge. Now in terms of thickness, you'd guess that it's thick, and you'd be right. 20 millimeters from the top of the domed sapphire to the case back. And from lug to lug, there are two ways to measure this one, and I'm going to give you both because you may very well want to put this watch on some sort of textile strap just to pare down the weight and maybe increase compatibility with the dive suit. Now, the watch measures a robust 55 millimeters from lug to lug, but if you measure it from extremity to extremity, so the rigidmost outer outcropping of the end piece of the bracelet, you're actually going to get a truly menacing 60 millimeters span across the wrist. This thing is big, it's broad, and it's bold. Now, entirely in titanium, it's lighter than it would otherwise be, but with a solid case back, a massive middle case construction, the mechanical depth gauge, a full titanium bracelet, and a double-deployant quadruple trigger clasp. This one's never going to be light. However, it is manageable, and if you do choose to put it on some sort of NATO or textile strap, it'll pare down the mass even further. The watch does wear well, and it has a superb bracelet. You'll note JLC doesn't give up on fine finish or attention to detail. In spite of the sheer shock value of the watch, you can still see the narrow, hand-laid, polished bevel along the grade 5 titanium case, and you'll note the same polished bevels on the interior of the center links. Quite handsome, thoughtful, and again, just more subtle than you would expect in a watch of this size class. Are you paying attention, Hublot? This is how it's done. Now, the watch features a double-deployant clasp, triggers on both sides, so this one's not friction fit. It can't accidentally pop open. You have to compress 4 triggers to open this clasp. It also features a micro adjust on both sides. It's a little bit like Rolex's EasyLink system, and on each side you get 2.5 millimeters to take in or take out. You can use one or both to size the watch according to your degree of activity, hot or cold weather. Now, moving in, you can see that the standout feature of the timepiece, aside from its sheer proportions and mass, is the mechanical depth gauge, which is backed by a beautifully technical and revealing dial. Now, this system is borrowed from IWC. You saw it on the Deep 1, the Deep 2, and the Deep 3. But just like IWC borrows the quick-release lug system from Cartier for its Aquatime series, Jaeger-LeCoultre borrows the mechanical depth gauge system from IWC. You may be confused and think this is like the Panerai depth system. No, this one's entirely mechanical. The Panerai retires as soon as its battery is exhausted. This one has no battery. Now, you'll also note that it is a dive watch. ISO 6425 is in play, and so you can easily adjust the bezel to line up with the index, and the hands are beautifully loomed, as are the indices and Arabic numerals at 12 and 6. You can line it up, and now you can time an interval 0 to 60 minutes, even as you're monitoring your depth down to 80 meters. Now, while the depth gauge stops at 80 meters depth measured, it is a 300-meter water-resistant watch. It's also a wonderful piece in that, and I'm going to show you a couple of features here, but in that you can independently adjust the geographic time, which is denoted by the subdial at 9 o'clock, and the city reference dial at 6 o'clock, and you can adjust the local hour independently. So first you set both in sync, and then you set the local hour. And of course, I'll show you how the city reference ring works. You simply pull the crown, and then you turn forward or backwards to adjust, and the watch does the math for you, offsetting from your reference city and keeping track through a 24-hour scale at 9 o'clock, so you have AM/PM distinction. This could be considered the ultimate travel watch and a very unique world timer, in as much as it features Jaeger-LeCoultre's signature Geographic complication, and exclusive of the manufacturer since 1989. There's a lot going on here, and of course inside even more. It uses the Jaeger-LeCoultre manufacturer caliber 979 automatic 48-hour power reserve. Very, very tough. The 29 joule movement is based on the auto tractor caliber that debuted in 2002, so it's a modern sports watch. A double laser welded hairspring at the stud and the collet with a free sprung balance and a dual anchored balance bridge. All of that means the watch is exceptionally shock resistant and resistant to shock induced timing deviation. Of course, it is a unidirectional winder with ceramic bearings for utmost efficiency. Unidirectional winding is a bit more efficient than bidirectional, and with ceramic bearings, unlubricated, long-wearing durability is built into the winding system. This is a watch that offers you an immense amount of capability. Rather than looking at it as an oversized watch, maybe consider it to be the world's most compact and feature-rich submarine. You can see and you can purchase it on our website.